Everybody. Mr. Jay Park, he is our chairman, as you already know. And Jay, I just want to say we're so excited. We're all ears to hear all about you, what you have to say to us.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the invitation. I was just in the middle of a jiu-jitsu dinner party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone's drunk except me. I don't drink any alcohol, so I was just drinking all of the Sprite and Coke.
Oh, okay.
So, thank you very much for having me over. So what is it that you'd like to know more about?
Well, I want you to introduce yourself, give us a little bit background, and then the agenda that we have is I'm going to then introduce you to Rudy Celaya. Did I say that right, Rudy? Okay. And Rudy is then going to tell us about himself, and he is one of our big top leaders, and then he's going to introduce some people that he'd like for you to know. And then after that, if you can go over what you and I talked about last night, which was so powerful, I couldn't sleep last night, and share that great information of how we're going to take this group of 2,000 people to over 100,000. So sound good? Okay, awesome.
Sounds good.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, Rudy. Thank you very much for joining the call. I thought we had a couple of discussions prior. Have we not?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
That's what Rudy's going to that's who he's going to introduce you to, those people.
Okay, right on. Yes, please go ahead. Help me understand who's on the line, and then I'll go ahead and address accordingly.
Okay, so I'll start, and then Rudy, you can introduce your people, and then go from there.
Okay.
So Jay, we've got the leadership group who you have personally met when we were pre-COVID, and so I've got Dr. Allen. Dr. Allen, say hi. I've got Hayward, Cole, our game warden. We've got Elmer Duga, who is with us, although he is at work, but he's excited to be on the line. And then,
I'm excited.
Yeah. And then I've got Nazgi, Noel, who you've spoken to a few times also. And so that's who I have invited. And then, of course, I invited Ryan. Ryan. Ryan was invited by Rudy. And so now, Rudy, you introduce your team.
Sure, no problem. And good afternoon to you, Jay. Thank you for making the time for us. And I'll tell you right now, I haven't been able to sleep either. I don't know what I was looking more forward to, either this call or the red carpet tonight. But I got Ryan Conley on the line here. I know you've spoken to him in the past. He's one of the top earners from FutureNet, also partnered up and brought in our Asia ambassador, Don Culverwell. And I think you've spoken to him in the past couple of times as well. We have Fatai, Miley James, the crypto queen. She's a really good friend of mine. She has John Sohu, also a founder of the company, along with Fatai and Ryan. And then we got Marianne on the line, Marianne Ping. She has such an incredible story, but she is a gamer. She is a gamer at heart. And I didn't even have to sell her on Suponic. She saw it and she's like, how do I get in? And then, of course, we got Brandon Nahart. Just the story on how we met, but he's very, very heavy into crypto, very connected with some people in Las Vegas. And so just really excited to have everybody on this call. I was expecting 2 other people, but for some reason, let me go ahead and see real quick. You know what? Go ahead. Is there anybody in the waiting room, Gil?
Yeah, I just let Liz in.
Oh, there you go. Okay, there's Liz. Thank you so much for being on here. Liz, her name is Liz Angeles. If you guys don't get that, she's really big in LA. And she's shared a couple of connections that she has with, for us with Suponic. So appreciate everybody being on here this morning. And that's what we have on the call. So thank you so much, Jay.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the hard work. And thank you very much for joining the call. So as a way of background, I guess some of you, for some of you, this is the first time being able to correspond with me. So I guess I can just give you a brief background and let you know where we're headed. So Suponic started off about 3.5 years ago. I was currently volunteering on a project with the United Nations at the time. And I was advising many of the country leaders on certain issues related with cybersecurities. And when they approached, they had informed me about a situation that was going on in Korea with cryptocurrency. And so I did some studies and I realized that a lot of people are about to get hurt because everyone's joining like crazy, thinking that the coins that they're going to invest in is going to turn out to be like Bitcoin. As a businessman, as an entrepreneur, the first thing that I look at is, well, where's the ecosystem? How does it work? There's no such thing as magic money. We just need to understand how the money flows. And otherwise, it's just going to be like another pyramid scheme where there's going to be a lot of victims. And I anticipated that there was going to be a huge burst in the cryptocurrency bubble. And so, and when they asked me, when I told some people about this, because they came to me for advice on certain coins, and they said, well, could you create us a coin? And I said, well, I suppose I can help you with the technology, but you're going to have to, as far as business is concerned, you're on your own. So I just happen to understand IT quite well, and the subject of blockchain and distributed ledger was something that I've known quite ahead of Bitcoin. And so I created in fact, I was the one that broke, we analyzed Bitcoin and the weaknesses, and I had a system at the time which was going to be just as secure but faster. And I wanted to share the technology, and I gave it as a gift to the people that was I thought was in a lot of trouble at the time. But long story short, I guess as an entrepreneur, I saw a lot of the potholes that people were going through, and I had to come in and try to help them out of it. Bottom line, I ended up leading Suponic, and then I created a system. In the beginning, we started off with product-based products. So we had a cancer hospital that we put together, and we had a lot of different products, including diet pills. It was like $500 per bottle. But the problem we were facing was we were selling out too quickly. Basically, there was a problem with logistics when it comes to physical products. And so when we, for example, with diet pill, we sold out container volumes in a matter of just days. And then it took another 8 weeks for them to be able to repopulate, be able to produce more, to be able to supply to us. And so the early investors were, they came in, they invested in physical products, they invested in things that were tangible. And then I decided, but even with the existing ideas, people were quite content with the fact that we had an ecosystem that was working for them. But I realized that it was not going to be scalable. If you handle a couple of tens of thousands of people, it's okay. But we knew that it was still going to grow bigger than that. And so I literally rejected after we had about 55,000 investors coming in. There were people literally with tens of millions of dollars that wanted to come in, and I had to turn them all down. And I said, we're only going to accept a very small number, and that number, the quota's been filled. And so as a company, we've been quite premium in our branding. We've been keeping our promises, and people are quite content. But again, I promised them at the time, we're going to create something bigger, a plan that does not involve physical products, a plan that's going to be purely digital, and at the same time, it's going to have an ecosystem that's going to be able to cater for the mass. And so that plan took place, and we've been planning very carefully. And currently, we have a cryptocurrency, and we call it a hybrid system, where it takes both the strength of the Suponic proprietary blockchain algorithm and Ethereum as well. So when we use within the games, we use our own proprietary blockchain technology. When it's outside the games and it's in the wallets, we use Ethereum. This way, people are able to utilize the technology, and the exchanges are able to utilize the technology as more familiar with them. And at the same time, it is the proprietary blockchain technology, so we felt the need to protect it as well. So we use it within our own exchange, but outside, we designed it so that it will be using Ethereum-based once it leaves the gaming platform. So the technology was great. Was ready. We had a gaming platform that could be corresponding with any other video games out there. So basically, if you're a video game owner, you're able to come in and utilize that open API to be able to take advantage of the HTC coin system. And so if you have a game, then you can go ahead and allow people you can replace your existing in-game economy with a blockchain that was designed by Suponic, and be able to you're able to take advantage of being able to wager coins, which can then be cashed out on an exchange later. And so we felt the need to grow initial momentum, and we had a plan. So the plan was that we were going to have, and the current existing plan is that we're going to have approximately 100,000 marketers or distributors, and they will come in and they will be they'll be building momentum. And past a certain period, each marketer will be expected to play a video game at least once a day, and that is going to create an initial concurrent user base. With the concurrent user base built, we're going to go and push for 3,000 concurrent user base. So for those of you that may not be familiar, concurrent user base is very important in the world of video games. For example, if you play World of Warcraft, then when you come in and there's nobody playing, then it's not a lot of fun. So if you have people that are already there playing, coming on missions, then you can join them and you can join the teams, and it's just so much more fun being able to play with others. So we're creating a concurrent user base we have a goal to create a concurrent user base of 3,000. And what this does is, because the games themselves is actually connected to a cryptocurrency exchange, whenever the retail gamers come in, they purchase the coins at the retail price, at the market price, which is currently at $1. They're actually purchasing it directly from the cryptocurrency exchange. So although they may be paying using a credit card to purchase the game inside the game, they're actually purchasing it from the exchange. So we were able to solve a problem which exists with most of the cryptocurrencies today, which is having an ecosystem. Most cryptocurrencies, once they're listed on an exchange, it doesn't mean it's going to be popularized. It doesn't mean it's going to be actively traded, and it doesn't mean it's going to go up in value organically unless the company starts buying back the coins. But in that instance, this is a very unique situation because when we're targeting organic and we're targeting retail gamers that are coming in, purchasing the games because they are able to play games and have an opportunity to be able to win coins, which can be cashed out on an exchange. So when real money is involved, then gaming becomes a whole different entity. So, for example, to get a picture, a video game market is pretty big. The music industry is a $19 billion industry. The movie industry is a $49 billion industry. And the video game is a $150 billion industry. And if you were to include AR and VR, that's a $200 billion industry. And we're talking about the revenue, the market size is already in the trillions. And so video game is a pretty big area. But then there's an area which is bigger than that, which is the gambling market, which is an $850 billion industry. And then there's the cryptocurrency industry. So within our platform, people are buying the coins and they're playing the games. And then when there's about 3,000 concurrent users, meaning at any given time, the game is playing the game, what we are creating is a liquidity pool. And so a liquidity pool is the most important aspect in a cryptocurrency exchange. Basically, if there's 100 buyers and there's 1,000 sellers, what happens to the coin? Usually the coin value goes down. But if it's the other way around, if there's a shortage of coins and there are more buyers, then the coin value goes up. And so the pairing between the buyers and the sellers is actually quite a challenging task. Because how do you what reasons are there for cryptocurrency owners for them to be or investors to be able to come in and purchase the coins, other than just having an expectation that it's going to grow? Because there's no utilization of these coins. Most of these coins, once they're listed on an exchange, just flops. Unless in the beginning, say a company, they raised about $300 million or so, they'll spend maybe $1 million in purchasing the coins back, and that's going to drive a momentum where people start to buy. But how can a company that has sold the coins for 30 cents continue to buy back coins when it's at $1? That's going to be a loss. And so there's a certain limitation to having that natural ecosystem. But in the Suponic ecosystem, it's completely different. The gamers come in, they play because the gaming is fun, and because the game is now connected to a real cryptocurrency that can be exchanged and on a cryptocurrency market. And when that happens, the value of the coin and the value of the game grows exponentially. And so we tested this theory by chance almost. So there was a game called Myland that came to my attention. And Myland was a game with poor graphics and literally no sound. And it was a game that belonged in the 80s. It wasn't something that belonged in this current day in era where majority of the games are now 3D and special effects. And I told him flat out that I don't think I can publish this game. But because he was a friend and he asked me as a favor, and I had nothing to lose, I wanted to try something that I've always had in my mind, an idea that I had in my mind, which was to create a market. And so what I did was this in-game economy, which is pearls, allow people to be able to purchase these pearls on the market, and they were able to sell these coins that they attained by taking over other people's land and being able to cash it out on the market. And when that happened, and there was real money involved, people came in like crazy. And we're talking about a game that is very antiquated, and yet it was making millions and tens of millions of dollars in a matter of just days and weeks. And so taking a look at that success of that game, I realized that once a game is actually has connected to real money, then it becomes something other than a game. It's something that's targeting a bigger market. And so I want to take this further and then create a Suponic Games. In Suponic Games, I had mentioned that the importance of liquidity pool. Basically, when somebody's trying to sell a coin on the market, on the cryptocurrency exchange, and a cryptocurrency exchange, all it is just a pairing up of buyers and sellers. And unless there's a natural organic system of buyers and sellers created, these coin values are not going to go up on its own. And so when people are playing the game, and when retail gamers are coming in and they're playing the games where they're able to win so many coins based on their skills, it creates a natural organic ecosystem of buyers and sellers. And this is why I emphasize in bringing targeting 3,000 concurrent user base of retail gamers. And when this occurs, not only because a company takes 30% of the winnings, which is 15% of the total wagering, and we bring a 50% of the money of the coins that comes in. That means there's a continuous shortage, fewer and fewer coins, and when there's a less supply and higher demand, then the natural economy will state that the coin value would rise. And so we created that natural ecosystem where the coin value can rise organically. And so together collectively as distributors and as marketers, we'll have an initial goal to create a 3,000 concurrent user base. 3,000 concurrent user base in a video game isn't all that a lot. To give you a picture, if you take a look at games like Crossfire, currently they have 8 million concurrent user base. It means at any given time, there's that many players playing the game. So for us, in a system that involves real money, to be able to target 3,000 concurrent user base is not that difficult. And it's definitely a reachable goal. And so once we reach that, based on a mathematical model, should we reach 3,000 concurrent user base by October 1st? By December 25th on Christmas, each value of HTC coin will surpass 500 USD. And so we're quite excited about the system that we have. And currently our games are coming in. They're very, very, very fun. They're genuinely designed for the gamers. It's not just one of those quick Me Too type games where people are coming in and just getting some cheap source code and trying to do it. No, it's genuinely created with genuine investments made, and the quality of these games are very high. And so we have currently prepared 300 plus source codes, which we obtained, and we're listing them one at a time. Just a couple of days ago, we finished implementing Rage of War, which is also a similar game, very similar to Myland that I spoke about earlier, except it has better graphics and better gameplay. and far more developed. So I was quite excited to see a game very similar to that game. We also have the ski games coming in. We also have first-person shooters, which are very popular, which also includes Battle Royale. So you can imagine, in every game, we decide a different rule. For example, in Ink Wars, it's just a two-player game. So two people can wager, say, 100 coins each, or not long ago, I was wagering 1,000 coins per game with some of the Japanese players. But it depends on the individual. We can go as low as 0.1 coins if they wish to. The winner takes the coins, and it's very simple, black and white. But then in the case of ski games, which is just a one-touch button game, very simple, whoever survives the longest wins. So two people start off, and then they go through different obstacles, and whoever is able to last the longest, they get to win. And they get to take the wagering. And then you have a game similar to like FPS game or Battle Royale. With this Battle Royale mode, which is similar to Fortnite and PUBG, you have 100 people or so that just flies down from the sky, and then everybody puts in 10 coins each. And every time you're able to eliminate a player, you're able to take, say, 3 coins. So if there's 100 people on a battlefield and you're just shooting down people one at a time, every time you shoot somebody, you're able to get money from or the coins from it. And so that game is now transformed into something that is much more than just a simple video game. It becomes a money-making machine. And so people participate simply because when there's real money involved, there's accountability, and when there's accountability, it's so much more fun. And so then whenever you're able to eliminate a player, then you're able to go shoot them, and then you're able to take money. And the last man standing is able to collect 3 coins from everybody, which is 300 coins. And so there's a winning for everybody involved. And then you have a game that Gail recently introduced as well. It's a game called Space Misfits. And in the instance of Space Misfits, this is a pretty cool, typical MMO game, where it's a game that involves planets and different solar systems. And within the planets, you have to you have to mine certain minerals. In this game, Suponic is now creating a space station. So what happens in the space station is you will have, first of all, you have meeting rooms and things that people can have conference calls in. And then you'll have these 100 plus rooms, meeting rooms, where each individual person can having their own, they're all based on blockchain. And they're able to have their own rooms based on their levels. But and if you own a spaceship, then you have to come and you have to refuel. And so whenever you go visit the space station, then you have to refuel and you have to pay coins for it. So just by having a space station that everyone gets to come and refuel the games, you're actually able to collect money and cash that out on an exchange. And so there's different type of scenarios on how our HTC platform can be used. Our bottom line is by we're able to change the existing in-game economy within a game so that it can be traded for real coins. And then these coins can then be cashed out on an exchange. And so there's going to be so many different type of scenarios on how platform is going to be used. Our bottom line is we make the initial drive with our games and with our marketing and involving all the distributors that are involved as well and various events. But pretty much once we build the momentum, we anticipate gaming companies to come in and start implementing their games using our open API. And we are already seeing that happening. There are many game developers that have come in. We're having in discussions, and they have already started implementing the games. And some of these games are already complete in the implementation. So we're just making a couple of user interface changes last minute. But as far as all the features are concerned, we've done our testing and the game's working perfectly. And so we have a vision that's actually quite actualizable, and we have a plan where we're not going to infinitely accept the marketers until ever. The marketers or the distributors are going to participate to a certain point until we'll have enough retail gamers. And our current goal is to have 1 to 30, one distributor or one marketer to 30 retail gamer ratio. And so with this, we believe we have eliminated the risk factor or the downsides of a pyramid. And because everybody is coming involved, and even people at the top, in order to qualify for their earnings, they have to play a game once a day, which means everyone is actually contributing to create the initial drive or concurrent user base. We begin with a 10 concurrent user base, we build it to 100, and then pretty much before we know, we'll have 3,000 concurrent user base. Of course, it doesn't stop there. Once we reach 3,000 concurrent user base, we'll only go up from there. So that's a basic concept of what we have. Did you have any questions?
First of all, that sounds so awesome. I've been taking copious notes. So, yeah, if anybody needs to have me explain it, every time I hear this from Jay, I learn more and more. But, yeah, thank you for that great explanation and background and everything. But, yeah, anybody have any questions?
Jay, I have a question.
Yes.
So let's say right now the retail price of a Suponic game coin is $1. Are we able to visualize it maybe as a game token? So let's say one SGC is now worth $5. Will it still be, to play a simple game is one Suponic game coin, which means it's $5 to start one game? Or will that $5 of SGC be tokenized into 5 tokens?
Yes.
So everything will be a $1 token that will float all the way through, even though SGC gets up to $100.
Right. This is absolutely a critical question. It's the first thing that came to our mind when we thought about this. Our coin, SGC coin, has 8 decimal points, so same as Bitcoin. So what happens is, in the beginning, yes, we'll leave it to a certain point where people bet in the number based on the number of HTC coins. But past a certain point, obviously it's going to be too expensive for people to come in and play. And at that point, we'll be basing on US dollars. So people will be basing on 0.n3 of HTC coins. That's the 0.n number of the HTC coins. Does that make sense?
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah. We love it too. So, but every day, I come in. Every day, I work day and night, not because it's work, because it's just so much fun. We have so many game developers that have come in, and I really enjoy really making things work for them. For me, I have seen much success in video game publishing, and to a point when I look at video game, it's just a no-brainer. I can immediately come up with 100 different points on how to improve a game. And when I have these individual game developers that have such great concepts, I love being able to mentor them into helping them be successful. So I come in, and I don't consider this work, but in the last 3 days, maybe I had like 2 or 3 hours of sleep per day, simply because I was just full on onto these calls with the game developers, with the investors. We have for example, in Space Misfits, this is a very good concept that we need to all understand as well. It doesn't have to be all about HTC as well. HTC is basically a platform. And so in Space Misfit, every item in that game is purchasable using the engine coin. And engine coin has a very strong liquidity pool. But within the same game, there are unique items. At the same time, all items can be purchased using HTC coin also. So when HTC coin players come in, and keep in mind, every item that you purchase here is based on a blockchain, so it's very unique, and it has limited numbers. So let's say they decide to build only 50 spaceships, space stations. Keep in mind, remember, every space station is able to produce money because everyone needs to refuel, and they will come to these space stations to refuel, and every time they refuel, they use a real cryptocurrency to pay for it. Right? So this is a really cool investment that people can come and make. And so when they come in and you're able to, even though I bought this space station with HTC coins, I can start collecting engine coins from it because engine coins coming usually to refuel, I'll start refueling using the engine coins. And then I can use the engine coins to cash out. At the same time, there's certain spaceship blueprints that you can design, that you can purchase. And once you purchase the blueprint, obviously you have to get some materials and minerals and things like that to actually build that space station, build that spaceship. But the spaceship is purchased using HTC coins, but then you can go ahead and sell it to engine users who wants to go ahead, who loves your spaceship, one of a kind, very unique, and they want to purchase it using the engine coin. So you can go ahead and sell this product that you just purchased using HTC coin to the engine coin users. So it adds much value to HTC coin because you're able to liquidate the HTC coins and change it for engine coins as well, and vice versa. But even if it's vice versa, it still benefits the HTC users in the end. So we're actually finding a synergy between the two coins, because engine coins is more known for items and unique products, whereas Suponic Game Coin is probably one of the only technologies, the only blockchain technologies that are out there that is capable of transacting simultaneously over 68,000 transactions per second. And because Suponic is the only coin that can actually do that, I've seen other coins that claims that they can do it, but and I'm not gonna speak further than that. But in terms of our confidence in our technology, we believe we're one of the very unique coins out there that are capable of doing that. Plus, we have the game development experience and the game publishing experience. That sets us apart. We have so many game companies that have approached us, and many of you, those on the call, may have experience as well. They had the same idea. They had the same concept. The bottom line, the execution is a whole different layer, is a whole different matter. When I approach some of these game companies, like for example, the Man Down project, the FPS with the Battle Royale, people have approached them in the past with similar ideas, and they said no. But then when I came and they asked me who I was, and I told them I'm JPOC, and I was the former executive, we know who you are, right? And then they think like, we would like to participate with you on this project. No question asked, simply because in the video game world and in the publishing world, I was quite well known. I was one of the very first Asian executives in Europe to be very, very successful in bringing in Asian game titles to Europe and generating billions of dollars of revenue. And so I do have a lot of passion and experience behind it, which kind of puts me in a pretty good position. And the company is well funded, so we're not starting from scratch. These spaceships that we're building right now in Game Speed, everything requires money. We put up some funds to go ahead and create them. So the company is in a very financially stable situation, which again sets us apart from most of the companies that actually have a vision to do it. Second is the technology. This technology took me literally 13 plus years to get to where we are, and over $28 million investment. And so, I definitely encourage competition. But again, so far, we're in a very unique position where we're coming in at incredible speed, not only for the game development side, but also in the publishing space. Just days ago, we were successful in launching our signature game in course in the Schoology platform. So for those of you that may not be familiar, Schoology is basically a platform used by students in the U.S. And so U.S. LAUSD district has formally approved us in being able to, and not only did they approve, that we're now piloting a high school to high school esports tournaments between students in the different high schools. And so we have spoken to the superintendents who are very keen to work with us, and they love the idea of creating this online Dave Buster's type concept. I mean, they are students and they are under 18, so they may not be able to cash it out, but we can definitely swap their HTC coins for prizes and scholarships and things of that nature. And so we're going to pilot an esports event that involves 30 high schools.